For a second, Ted thought the guy peeking around the corner was Matt, or maybe Larry, the mechanic from Dutton who doubled as the delivery guy for the lumberyard. Then he wiped the water out of his eyes and realized the guy was way too small and frail to be either one. Matt was taller and Larry was stockier, and neither one of them had black hair and a goatee and looked like the least breeze would blow them off the mountain.
A stranger. And I'm naked. Whoops. Good thing he wasn't here 10 minutes ago when I shifted.
Because shifting in front of a human, yeah, that was a sure way to bring the council down on his ass, especially after what Dr. Kendrick had told him this morning. Ordinarily, Ted would have shifted back to his bear form and shaken the water off to get dry. He'd only stopped out here to shower because he'd run afoul of an illegal dump site when he was lumbering back up the mountain after Matt had dropped him off in town, so he didn't have a towel. Or clothes.
Awkward.
Well, it was his place, damn it. Wasn't he entitled to privacy here? He wasn't expecting anyone until Rusty arrived next week, so he should have been able to parade around as naked as a mole rat if he wanted, with no one the wiser. And even though shifter blood ran hotter than human, and he'd already started to put on the padding around his middle in the run-up to winter hibernation season, it was still damn cold in the wind off the lake.
Sorry,
He gestured to his body.
Wasn't expecting company.
If he could just get the guy to go around to the front of the lodge, Ted could shift and dry off. It wouldn't help the no-clothes situation, but he had a stash in the lodge and a cache inside the tree line for emergencies, or when he was running the Bigfoot scam. He sighed.
Can't do that anymore either.
But the guy just kept staring at Ted, his eyes behind those rectangular hipster glasses getting bigger and bigger, which had the unfortunate effect of, what did Dr. Kendrick call it? Sympathetic reaction? Because Ted's dick started to keep pace.
I'm a married man now. I need to keep it in my pants. When I have pants.
He turned his back.
Could you, go back to your car until I get dressed?
I don't have a car. The guy's voice sounded like he was trying to get the words out past someone's fist.
You too? Yeah, my truck's in the shop, so...
Ted slapped himself on the forehead.
Not relevant.
If you just go around to the porch, I'll be there in a minute, and you can let me know what you need. The guy let out a noise that sounded like, up. But since that wasn't a word, it couldn't have been what he'd said. Ted took it for a yes because when he checked over his shoulder, the guy was gone.
Phew.
He shifted back to his bear, heat singing along his bones as the shifter magic reformed his body. He sighed in relief. Ordinarily, the itch from the fur sprouting through his skin drove him nuts, and he'd search for the nearest tree to rub against, but today he was too damn glad of the heat. A little thrill raised the fur along his spine.
I'll have a husband to rub up against soon.
Would Rusty like Ted's bear form? Or would it be insensitive to shift since Rusty couldn't? He should have asked Dr. Kendrick about that this morning, dang it.
For Rusty, I can keep it together, control my shifts.
He'd known marriage would take some compromises. If shifting in secret was one of them, at least it would give him practice being discreet.
That ought to make the council happy.
He shifted back, the energy drain from the second shift making him a little lightheaded. Making a mental note to eat an extra helping at dinner to make up for it, he ducked through the back door of the lodge into the mudroom, the only room that held anything but sawdust and building materials. He pulled on a pair of jeans that could use a wash and an old flannel shirt with a stain on the front from when he was changing the oil in his truck. Sheesh, he needed to upgrade his spare wardrobe if he was going to be getting random uninvited visitors.
I need to upgrade it anyway.
He glanced at his wedding band, a grin stretching his cheeks.
I'm married now. Time to step up my game.